Alright, house cleaning out of the way. Please like and sub to this channel. Please consider looking at the other channels, especially the Kubrick channel, because again, I don't know for sure if this channel will survive, so please go to the Kubrick channel. Just have a place to go to where, if anything happens, hopefully I can at least have some outlet on YouTube, but we will have to wait and see. And also, please consider channel memberships. I've been promising a lot, but don't worry, for the channel members, a lot is coming, believe me, a lot is coming. And I will be doing a few things to fulfill that promise. But now let's jump into the main thing, which is, apparently it's no longer the Aftermath Foundation, but the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation. Well, that is a mouthful, but there we go. I mean, they could have just called it the Rinder Foundation, but there we go. I guess that's a tautology. So Claire Headley is the current head of the Aftermath Foundation, and apparently to honor the passing of Michael Rinder, they're going to officially rebrand the Aftermath Foundation as the Michael J. Rinder Foundation. And for those totally under a rock, basically Claire, again, mainly on his side, but she has been at war with Aaron Smith-Levin, who was a former board member, one of the founding members of the Aftermath Foundation, and his public exit, where he was forced off the board, was fairly public. I mean, I can remember fairly clearly because this channel covered the whole Aftermath crisis very extensively. But essentially, in November, wow, this is ancient history, 2023, Aaron formally announced that he was off the Aftermath Foundation, and he was going to move on with his own foundation, which he did make, the SPTV Foundation, and they were going to go their way, he was going to go his way, but reality, no, he began this massive, pretty broad campaign of hatred and revenge. We know this for a fact because Nora, one of the propagandists he was working with, came out publicly a few months ago as an anti-Aaron critic and showed us real physical evidence that, yes, he was saying publicly, no war, no, Aaron, I want peace. And then privately, secretly, he was encouraging friends and other people to go after Rinder, go after Claire Headley, and try to destroy the Aftermath Foundation. And there was just a wave of pro-Aaron propaganda and a wave of anti-Aaron propaganda. It was just going back and forth, back and forth. And again, for the most part, Claire stayed out of it. But I'm not going to lie for her or to her either. I mean, it's pretty clear she was helping some people behind the scenes. And whether Aaron was aware of it at the time, he didn't like that, but he was doing the same thing. So it just became a big football. And there we were, just the two foundations just constantly sniping at one another. They did technically do some things in common, like there was this Anticult symposium that occurred. It was very informal. It wasn't meant to be an academic thing, so I may have misdescribed it when I initially reported it, so I made a mistake there. I thought it was like a research, colloquium or kind of some research project. No, it was just various anti-cult groups coming together to speak, and the SPT Foundation was there, and the Aftermath Foundation was there, represented by Chris Shelton. And, well, it did not go over well at all. I will do a short summation because apparently Nora has not overcome her hatred of Chris Shelton. But essentially what happened is Chris Shelton spoke and Liz Gale tried to gaslight him saying, "That's a good point, Chris." Building off of that, and Chris was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to fall for the propaganda." So it was a very chilly reunion of these various people. And Shelton basically just wanted to leave. But Nora wanted to force him to shake her hand and basically accept the Church of A.A. Rawness. And Shelton's like, "No, I don't want to hang out. I'm not going to shake your hand. I'm not going to say hello or whatever because, you're evil and I'm better than you," which frankly is true. And Chris Shelton has his own problems and he left. And of course, Nora made a big video getting very angry. He did not accept the propaganda. And that's just one of many examples of what happened with the Aftermath and SPTV people, even when they were, quote, friendly with one another at public events. And there we go. So what do I think of the brand name change, and what does it mean, and what will it lead to the future? Well, I'll try to be a minimal, decent person. So some of Rinder's final wishes is, if you can, please help the education fund of apparently his sons. So I will leave the information below. If you want to do that, that is up to you. I don't really have the resources, and I got to be totally honest, given the radically toxic space of all this stuff, the SPTV Aftermath space, I wouldn't want to contribute, frankly, because it's just gotten so messy and problematic, and you'd frankly be implicated in a lot of issues and problems. Now, again, I can agree that a lot of these issues and problems are Aaron-focused and Aaron-based. That's true, but Rinder is not an innocent lamb. I mean, the guy was the head of OSA for decades. So both sides, have to put it mildly, some dirty hands, and that's where we stand. But his final wish was to help his family. So if you want to do that, that is up to you. I have way too many questions, and I realize the obvious that Claire Headley's just not in the mood to answer these questions because she feels embattled, which in some cases are true, but in some cases are not true, and that's where we are. Still, is this a good idea for Claire to make this formal change? I'm going to have to say no, because the obvious rejoinder from Aaron will be, "Oh, it's the Michael J. Rinder! Oh, it's the Michael J. Rinder Foundation! Oh, okay. Well, maybe my foundation should be the Aaron Smith-Levin SPTV Channel Foundation." Right. Of course, the problem with renaming the SPTV Foundation to the Aaron Smith-Levin Smith Foundation is it's already the Aaron Smith-Levin Foundation. We know it's the Aaron Smith-Levin Foundation. You're the president. You've been the dictator and controller of the foundation from the beginning. It's not like, wow, that would be so surprising if Aaron named his foundation the Aaron Foundation. Like, just out of spite. Just to show them, well, Claire, now I declare my foundation the Me Foundation. But you don't have to do that, Aaron, because we already know it is your foundation. It is the Me Foundation you have over there. So, but nevertheless, is this going to spur old animosities? Sure. I think the aftermath crisis, good or bad, has run its course. The partisans have batched themselves into their various echelons or tribal groups, and they are where they are. Cheryl Farrell is with Aaron. Marilyn is with Aaron. And Nora is not on the pro-Aaron side. Nora's now on the anti-Aaron side. DOA is on the anti-Aaron side. Streets LA apparently is pro-Aaron, but he may change. And that's where we are. And the Aftermath people have their partisans and supporters. And then you have quite literally 3, 4, 5 independent people who are like, I don't want to join an evil empire on this side or an evil empire on that side. And that's where we are. But, that is what it is. However, are the pro-Aaron people probably going to try to use this as Hail and Mary and recover some of the old glory spirit of the war years? I'm sure they will, saying, I told you they were trying to take over, Anakin. I told you they were trying to take over. They're out of control. I told you. They're trying to take over. So they'll probably use this as proof. I knew it. Claire wanted that foundation the whole time. I never trusted Claire. She was just a little too pretty. A little too much with the smiling. I always knew she was going to take over from A.A. Ronis. She always had the plan of destroying my A.A. Ronis and building the Church of Claire Headley's. Well, listen, Claire Headley is what she is. She's a very beautiful, sexy, very intelligent, very resourceful woman. And I have to at least push back on Aaron on one thing, because he kept saying, listen, guys, it's disgusting. I did all the work. They didn't do anything. They did nothing. Like, literally, the Aftermath Foundation was him. Him and Louise did everything. Everything. So you'd think, well, since you're gone, how are they even sustaining themselves? I mean, the website looks fine. People who work with the foundation, they seem fine. Again, it seems they've managed to survive the exit of A.A. Ronis. And Claire, give her some credit, does have a dedication for Aaron, too, saying, we gratefully thank the years of service that Aaron Smith-Levin gave to us. But we're moving on. And there we go. But, yeah, I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, I understand making some tributes or something. They could just do something in the middle, do an emeritus or, whatever, an endowment, a little part of the foundation. But just renaming the foundation is just going to be like, yeah, it's just going to create a renewal of the partisanship and bitterness. But it's going to be there for a long time. So, it's just what it is. I mean, you just got to be honest about it. But there we go. So, I mean, inevitably, they would have probably tried to do something like this, but I don't know, full frontal, just changing the foundation name. I expect Aaron will respond, and he will respond in his usual graphically not nice civil way. But he's also a bit of a coward, so maybe Feral Cheryl will do 3 hours with Marilyn saying, we have been vindicated in our conspiracies. Claire's changing the name. I knew it. The Church of Uranus was pure. The Church of Rinda was all evils. It's that simple. All evil versus all good. It's Superman versus satanic Headleys. And, there we are. So, yeah, I don't think this was a good idea, but that's my opinion. I'm sure many comments will say, it's a great move. You're evil and stupid. You don't even understand the obvious. Claire Headley's all good. And that's where we are. It's either Claire is all good and Aaron is all evil, or, you know, you're the devil. And that's where we are. So, maybe this would have been better in another situation, but given how frayed nerves are, I can't help but think Claire is, you know, she's poking the bear a little bit. I mean, does Aaron deserve it? Yes, but, you know, it is poking the bear. You know, does he deserve it? Probably, but it is poking the bear. Got to be honest there.